I'm gonna use the microphone, although I normally don't need it, but with the face mask on, I might get a little muffled, so I'll try to keep this up close to my mouth. I'm gonna really try to make sure that I respect your time, but still provide you the information that you need to look at what's happening, and also to provide us input on what we're planning to do in District 9, Johns Island. I want to open with letting you know who's here. First off, I'm Jeff Barowie. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the school district. I have the responsibility, among other things, for construction, real estate, planning, and facility maintenance. I won't go into the litany of the other things, but that's the bread and butter that affects what you're all here tonight for the brief. Dr. Postaway, our superintendent, is here joining us tonight. I'm really happy that she was able to join us. We've got at least 2 Constituent Board 9 members, 3 now. Pat, Tammy, and I can't, I'm not wearing my glasses. Renee, okay. I'm not wearing my glasses right now, so it's good to have Constituent Board 9 here. They are going to be integral in the eventual process of outfitting the school with kids when it's all said and done. And that's a very complex process that's going to take some time. So it's great that they're here, but you can also talk with them about your thoughts for the attendance lines for the school. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. I've got Brownstone, Margarita Perez. Brownstone is our construction management firm on this project. I've got Jasmine Shaw, our new Executive Director for Capital Programs. The 2 of them will be responsible for the design and construction of this school. I've got a host of other staff. I hope I don't make folks feel bad by not introducing you, but I want to thank Anna for having me out here at Mount Zion, and one of our elementary learning service leads, Jeff Beckwith, in the back as well. The educational aspect of this is obviously important, but it's not the reason for this meeting, and I'll talk about the process for the educational side as we move on through this process. So let me show you what we've got coming up here tonight. Oh, I forgot to introduce Stephanie. Stephanie Vickers is our interpreter. She's going to say a few words to start out, and then she will be here to support anyone who wants anything translated when it's all said and done.
Buenas noches, yo soy su servidora, intérprete y traductora con el Distrito Escolar de Charleston, Stephanie Vickers. Si alguien necesita servicios de interpretación, estoy a sus órdenes. Tenemos disponible la copia de la presentación hacia atrás si no has obtenido una copia, y estará ubicada al frente con el salón después de la presentación si en caso tienes preguntas para el presentador. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. And I also see my most favorite Dallas Cowboys fan joined us tonight, Reverend Dr. Eric Mack, the chairman of the Charleston County School Board. Thanks for joining us, Reverend Mack. So here's the top 5. Here's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you some background on the sales tax referendum that led us to this project, the priority factors in determining where the project fell in the pecking order for execution, the site options that exist on where the school would be built, the scope of the project in generalities, but I'll give you the outline for that, and then we'll talk about the next steps that have to take place to move this project forward. So first on the sales tax referendum, for those of you, and I hope all of you are Charleston County voters, by an overwhelming majority, we got the second extension of the referendum passed last November. I think it's a huge level of respect for the program that's existed since 2011, that we're doing the most for our students and our faculty and our families in Charleston County. And now it's time for another school on Johns Island. You know, we got the Hot Gap project that's ongoing. Back in the day, we rebuilt St. John's High School, and we just did a major renovation of Angel Oak, expansion of Angel Oak, and Frierson has been turned into a Montessori school. So this is the last but not least campus to move ahead with. And on the referendum was included a project entitled Construct and Equip a New Elementary School on Johns Island. So we purposely, and I'll tell you this up front, we purposely left Mount Zion's name off because we wanted to ensure that we had the most possible options to determine where a new school could be built. We didn't want to restrict ourselves to one campus. We wanted to look around, look at the growth on the island, see where the families are, see where their kids are living, and find the best place for this campus. And I will explain some of the process on where we stand with that site selection here later on. The board approved the execution of the funding method by waves. This project was funded at the beginning. We went back to the board in March of this year and listed the projects of when they would be built. And you can see at the top bullet, it's from 23 to 28, but we borrow money in advance at a very low interest rate to get these projects done as soon as possible to get them in the hands of our kids and our faculty and our families, obviously. And so we expect to start this project before 2023, but based on the priority factors, the board put this project in wave 1. So the factors that determine why it was in wave 1, and I don't know why I put life safety in bold, because it really isn't like there is a life safety issue on this campus. There's been a significant amount of money invested, but it is an old facility. In 1955 is when it was built. There are a number of systems in the building that are approaching the end of their service life. For those of you that have been out back, you know we've got trailers here, and we may need to bring a couple more in before it's all said and done. But the trailer factor is a big one. We'd like to have our kids in the building to increase or improve the safety posture by being inside a building. And we've also got the middle bullet there, the septic system. And the septic system is a big challenge, and that is probably the biggest challenge on this site because the one that's here is undersized for a new school, and so things will have to change, and I'm going to talk about that here in a couple of slides coming up. The second factor, in addition to the facility condition, was the growth on Johns Island, and I know that you all are very well aware of that, especially if you've lived here. I apologize for the eye chart here. I will say up front that these slides, we will put them online, so you can print this slide out and take a closer look at it if you want. It's the 3 elementary schools, Angel Oak, Frierson, and Mount Zion, with the totals for all 3 at the bottom. Building capacity in gray, the first 4 columns are the enrollment numbers we had in the school's history since 2017. The blue number was last year. The green number is the projection for this year, and the white numbers are the projections from the years out. And our real estate and planning staff, Heather Studer's here, she's at the front desk. She's part of that organization that takes a look at the cohort, meaning how the kids progress through the schools and what the class sizes, how they change. They look at the development in every area, and I'll talk a little bit about that down the road. And they provide information to the constituent boards to do zoning. And they put this table together for me. A couple of points I want to make on this. District 9 as a whole, as far as enrollment goes, elementary school, is up 40% since 2017. 40%. Angel Oak is up 70%. This school is down 28%, going back to 2016 to today. So just to lay out where the numbers stand between the 2 schools, I don't include Frierson at this point because Frierson is the district's Montessori school. We've got kids going to that school from all 3 areas, Frierson, Angel Oak, and Mount Zion, that want the Montessori education. And so they're really a standalone school at this point. It's really looking at Angel Oak and Mount Zion. So this is where we stood last year. The colors represent the different school zones. Blue is Angel Oak, orange is Mount Zion, and green is Frierson, outlined by Johns Island. The pink dots represent a family in that district. It doesn't necessarily represent where they go, but you can see where most of the families are living. This is Mount Zion right here, Angel Oak up there, and Frierson down there in the green square. So we take a hard look at this, and this is something when we work with the District 9 Constituent Board, they'll want to see where folks are living, and they'll want to determine where things can be moved to minimize the distance families have to travel, but meet the size of the schools that we have at each of the sites. I mentioned the importance of the development and how we look at that. And Johns Island is one that's hard to keep up with. As you're aware, there's a lot going on. I've got 4 or 5 slides that our staff prepares to look at this in more detail. And what I'm giving you here is the summary slide. The blocks in yellow are the development that's under construction or permitted for construction. The colors are the zones again. Blue is Angel Oak. The brown-orange color is Mount Zion. You see the fringes of Frierson down there. And the only 3 schools that are on this map are Hot Gap, St. John's, and Angel Oak. The other ones are off the map. But as you can see, there's 2 huge developments in Mount Zion and multiple developments in Angel Oak that are under construction or permitted. They represent over 1,000 units coming up in Angel Oak, almost 1,000 units in Mount Zion zone. The number of student yield is off to the right, and you can see for Angel Oak, it's 205, and Mount Zion, it's 199. I want to point out that that doesn't necessarily mean all those kids are going to go to these schools. If you don't know, the live-in attend-in is a lot less than that. So if I look at Angel Oak as an example, Angel Oak right now, for the kids that live in that zone, 70% go to that school. For Mount Zion, 65% come to this school that live in the zone. So all of those kids don't represent kids that are going to immediately go to a school in that district. We would love it. We would love for students to want to go to the school that's in the area. And that's what the whole, I'll tell you what's the whole goal of this district is to want kids to stay local and be happy with where they're at. And certainly, I'll say in the 7 years that I've been here, the perception of Angel Oak and Mount Zion have changed for the better, and that's a good thing, and hopefully we can continue that with a new school coming online. Okay, site options. So one of the natural places to build a new school would be on this campus. It's 10 acres in size. Optimally, we would want 19. But for those of you that know what we've done in the school district, we've built under less than optimal conditions in some cases when we've had to. Compounding the problem is the septic system that we can't build on. So right now the septic system is in the front of this school, big grassy area. We can't use it for really anything else. And if we redesign to put the school here, we would have to create a new system, and we would have to do more research to see if it's possible to build that on this campus. We've done some initial analysis. Steve Coe is here from Rosenblum & Co. He's been a well-known designer in this district. He most recently helped us. He did design Camp Road Middle School on James Island and has helped us with some initial analysis of laying out this campus to see what's within the art of the possible. Right now, the school would have to be built in the back. We have no swing space. We couldn't put kids anywhere else on Johns Island. And so it would be a very difficult, challenging situation here at this campus as it stands right now. But again, we've done things like that before. We are also looking at other options on Johns Island. Back when I talked to the Constituent 9 board, probably, when was it? 4 months ago, 5 months ago, something like that. We had a Zoom meeting. We were looking at a tract of land that has become less possible for us because of some changes with the city of Charleston. We were looking at a site up on River Road, and the Dutch Dialogues, which you may have read about in the paper, they've been making some changes with where we want to build on Johns Island, and it may make things too complex to go to that site. But we want to make sure we run to ground all of the other options for building a school on a site that offers an opportunity for all of Johns Island, and we'll see how that plays out. I wish I had the answer here right now today for you, but we're still looking, and we want to make sure we do our due diligence and give the Board of Trustees all of the options with where we can go from here. So I mentioned Brownstone. Margarita Perez is here representing Brownstone. They've been selected as the construction management firm. They have been involved with the school district since before I was here. They've done a number of our schools as a subcontractor. They are now a prime contractor in construction management, and they'll be running the They'll be running the contract support for this project. The total budget just over $34 million. We're hoping to start design in January of this coming year. I mentioned the different waves of construction, and I mentioned that the District 9 school was put in the first wave. As soon as we get the land, we got the authority to move ahead with the design. Normally, the design and construction window that we talk about with a school of this size is 3 years. 1 year to design and 2 years to construct. Sometimes we get done faster than that, but that's the number we use for planning purposes. You can see the plans to get that done faster. We're hoping to use a different acquisition method to bring on the design firm and the construction firm to get this job done faster because of that growth that I mentioned in District 9 on an earlier slide, but to have the job open and ready to go in the summer of 2024 so that we can move kids in. So what we're budgeted for right now is a 600 kid school, 900 kid core. And what that means is we build the big box spaces, the cafeteria, a multi-purpose room, a media center. We build the big box spaces expecting to have 900 kids, but not the classrooms. And if there is a need to increase the size of the school, we don't have to change the big box spaces. They're already sized properly. We just have to add general education classrooms, and we add a wing to a school to make it 900. And that's a concept that we've used in several other schools that's worked out extremely well. The most recently was Lucy Beckham High School in Mount Pleasant, which was designed for 1,200 with a 15 core. We expanded it to 1,500, and we're able to finish the job when we needed it. And in this case, we would closely monitor the enrollment numbers and have the site prepared for the additional 300 student wing, and would be able to execute if the growth on Johns Island exceeded what we expected. So it really gives us an opportunity to expand for the future. Configuration of the school. I've had a number of parents through the school ask about, we got the STEM program here. We want to design the spaces. We'll take that all into account. We have design specifications for everything from the size of the principal's office. You're going to get the same as everybody else, wherever that school's built. And all of the other spaces, the size is predetermined, along with the specialty spaces. So if this is going to be a STEM school, there will be a STEM lab with that school, like we've done at other elementary schools. Again, whether or not the school is on this campus or another campus, my point of contact to start with is going to be Anna. And so if you have individual ideas, any different things you want to think about on the educational side, I would ask you to bring those through her. Anna's going to be part of the selection team. She's going to be part of the design team to bring that new school online. So if you have any questions related to that or any thoughts, please feed those back through her. But in the end, we give the principal within the authority of the budget to choose the color scheme, to choose the furniture and layout of all of that in the end. And that's a long ways away, but in the end, the ultimate principal of the school has that authority. Like Amy Carrio's here, right? Amy Carrio did that over at St. Andrews Math and Science. She's on our staff in Capital now, but she went through that process at St. Andrews when I first got here back in 2014. Okay, so what are the next steps? So in addition to design and construction, which is a huge step, I wanted to list a couple of key things here. One we talked about earlier, and that's the site determination. Please fill out comments. If you say this school needs to be here no matter what, we'll take that into consideration. If you have any other ideas related to that, please write those down. But that's one of the main purpose of this, is we're going to evaluate comments from this meeting and the meeting we're having at Angel Oak on Thursday. We're going to keep evaluating other sites on Johns Island that are more centrally located, and that'll be part of the factor as well to determine that site. But as I had on the last slide, I want to begin design in December and in January of 2022. So in the next 4 months, we want to make a decision and move out smartly with the design. And then, as I've mentioned a couple of times, one of the big tasks will be placed on the constituent board, and that's determining the attendance lines for this school. Because of the size, which is significantly more than what Mount Zion is right now, Angel Oak will be involved in this. Students from Angel Oak will be in this new school. And so that Constituent Board 9 responsibility is huge. Our staff will help them put numbers together, and they will hold their own public meetings to solicit public input and to show different options for that when the time comes coming up here in the next couple of years. Okay, so I mentioned the comment cards. You've got those here. We'll take those hard copies. We've got, if you think of something after the fact, I'd ask you to write down the website, write down the email address, our capital@charleston.k12.sc.us. We will we'll consolidate comments, questions, and answers. We'll have those posted on the Capitol website along with the video of this meeting in case you want to watch it again, or you know people that couldn't make it tonight and want to see this. And I'll also have these slides on there as well so you could look at them in greater detail and maybe provide comments after that. Fair enough? I'm going to hang around after the meeting if you want to pass anything along to me, or if you want to talk one-on-one about anything related to this concept and this project. And I'll just close by saying, feel free to, again, give us as many comments as you can related to this project. Reverend Mack, Dr. Postlewaite, anything you want to close with? All right, sir. All right, great. All right. You got comments up there, Amy? Leave them. Oh, you got a comment card basket. And we've got Stephanie here if you want any help translating with anything I said today. Oh, I don't know. No.